Well, welcome back, you beautiful spuds. Hey, you've clicked on this video, so you're buckling in. Hopefully you're ready to float with me down this potato stream. This is part 2 of kind of my review and playthrough of this clearly a little emotional beginning game, Expedition 33. I left off with the heart-wrenching Glamage, if that's how you say it, and we've now figured out that, okay, so every year this weird big giant lady, person, I don't know, from way off yonder, rubs their hands up against this thing and lowers the number from 34 to 33. So clearly it's been going on multiple times. There's constantly been more and more glamours, or however you say it. We now are getting a look into what's going on with the people. We're seeing that there's a crew of people that are going to go on an expedition. So it appears this happens every year, and for the most part, we have this part in the beginning now where you get to just walk around. Again, I have to say, this show, I keep saying show, this game really makes it real, doubling down on the character lines. They want you, before you start to get into real combat, the real meat of the game, they want you to have an understanding of this is character driven. You need to meet each of these people, and every single group of people you're meeting, they're giving you a little bit more about the world's history, a little bit more about their characters, about who Gustav is, about who these people are for Expedition 33, because now all of these people are the oldest people alive, at least for this area, for Lumiere, for this, I guess, last pocket of humanity. So I found this to be, again, the visuals are just breathtaking, as you can see. You can walk around. I think I may have missed some stuff. I probably missed some stuff. I will have to say I was a little entranced by just having just a slow burn game. I'd have to say I almost kind of felt at moments like this was another game, very story driven. And now that I'm saying this, at this moment, I feel like I'm blanking on the name of that game. Mass Effect. That's the game I was thinking about. Mass Effect. I did play some of Mass Effect, and I do know originally. Now, you can have your own opinion about how they squared it all the way and how it all culminated together in the third game of all of your choices. I remember specifically playing, I think, the first Mass Effect game, and I remember constantly so many sections where all you're doing is just walking around, talking to people, getting to know them. Very story-driven. And of course, as we're going through this, we are seeing each of him interacting with these other people, and they give you their name, they give you a little side clip with them. Like, this guy is really interesting because he kind of lets you know that the Glamage, or however you say it, started at year 100, and so for 67 years, this has been happening now. Every year, it clicks down, and every year it takes away anyone that's that age. Which, the more I think about it, this is like a double horrible thing, because technically you only have half the years, because you're also aging as well as the timer is clicking down. So if you're 15 and right now, you don't actually have, and it's 33, you don't really have all of those years because you have double those. You're aging at the same time the year is clicking down. So it's definitely an interesting concept. One thing that I'm a little confused on that the game hasn't rectified, I haven't Googled or looked up, but when you're doing this little tribute or this little game with him about history, he tells you that year 100, the first year, they had an expedition, but that expedition was called Expedition 0, which is intriguing because we're on Expedition 33. He even says it's stupid because it should have been called Expedition 100. So that implies that that's what we now say is it's Expedition 33. It's not Expedition 67. So my question then would be, well, it wouldn't even be 67. It would be Expedition 66. If they started 0, yeah, it would be 66, but they don't even say that. So I'm assuming the first year was Expedition 0, and then every year after that, we then call them Expedition 99, 98. I'm assuming. It's kind of weird. I don't know I guess 0 indicates the ground zero, and then after that, it's just been the year. Again, this game doesn't actually say that. I'm just drawing conclusions, so I would love in the comments if you know, let me know. But yeah, so other than that, this basically is just snippets of me talking to all of the people you can interact with, and then, of course, the main event, which is fighting once again with a little bit of this is going to be a closer to real fight before we get into the fighting. So let's jump into that right now.
I knew I'd find you here.
So I will definitely say I've skipped a little bit because I just found that I would pause for long periods of time just reading text and trying to figure, oh my goodness, look at how many times I'm trying to dodge. It's so cringy. Needless to say, I do want you to know, you'll see I'm getting better. I was just pushing that button like a scared lunatic, not understanding how to dodge. So my biggest complaint to myself and the biggest encouragement and advice I can give to anyone else is 100%, hands down, don't spam the parry or block button. Don't get all flustered with the flourishing. Look for when the actual attack is going to happen. There are cues. There are little hints of actually being able to block them or dodge them. You just have to get used to them. And let's see how I do here. Hey, I'm getting better. I think after this, I just flub all of these. Let's see. Yes, flub. And, yeah, didn't do a darned thing there. Horrible. This is just where the game literally, by the skin of my teeth, I won, and I don't even think I deserved that. Look at that. One successful dodge, 2 parries. Horrible.
Congratulations, you beat a teenager. Take this token as your well-deserved prize. Don't get too drunk tonight, okay?
So after this, we are then introduced to Alan, and then I talk to him for a while. There's so much story, so many different pieces of them just trying to include stuff. So then after them, I talk to this guy, Jeremy, I don't know how you say his name. Then we talk to Lucy, and we get a very interesting take where Lucy apparently is 33 as well. She could have went on the expedition, but instead she's given up. She's decided I want to just be working on my happiness. I have 1 year left. I'm just going to live my life to the fullest, try to help things out here, and you go, nothing's going to change. All of you are going to die. So very interesting take. Then after her, we move on to Tristan, and we get to see a little bit about him. Then we get to meet Lune. Now, of course, Lune is going to be more important and will be another added companion, spoiler, for your party. And I'm really liking her character. But we get to see a little bit about her, and it just continues on. This is very story-driven. It left me with a sense of wonder, with a sense of like this big scope of just trying to put everything together. Even rewatching it, it's very rich, and I would definitely say you get to see little snippets of everyone's personality, of how they match up with each other, and who they are to each other. This is a big event about to happen. Every year people go, and of course every year there has never been a success. There's been some maybe successes, but there's always this is unfortunately kind of in its own way like the Glamage. People are going on this expedition. They hope for the best, but they clearly are sending us not only to our death but ultimate failure. There's going to be an expedition 32. They know it. This isn't going to be anything different. There'll be a expedition 31, and every year the hopelessness will get even bigger, greater. But currently, this is the tone the game is trying to teach us, is people are kind of coming to terms. Some people are so hopeful, but ultimately there is a bleakness settling over everyone, and how this is never going to end until it's too late, until we get to the year 10 and all we have left is 10-year-olds being the oldest people, and what craziness that's going to be. I could almost even see, if left undone, there being a great just deciding that they're just going, that this is is hopeless. Let's just end it all now. I could see, or just who knows what could happen. But it's a crazy concept, and yeah, I really like how the game is trying to give us this big scope of like, can we make a difference this time, unlike any of the other times? And of course, hopefully, playing this game, we get to be Expedition 33, who gets to the Paintress, this weird giant entity that's causing this event to happen every year. So I'm really enjoying the storyline. Let's listen real quick.
Going to see each other again.
You're so busy anyway. I barely see you.
Just take care of Mayel, okay? Can't believe you're letting her go with you.
Me? You're her guardian too. You stop her.
We're her guardians, not her jailers. She really wants off this island.
Don't you have a speech to give?
Expeditioners. The Sword of Lumiere. We honor your dedication. We do not take for granted that you dedicate your final year of life to keeping hope alive for all of Lumiere. Some of you are leaving to change the world. Others to discover the secrets of our universe. Some to protect loved ones. Others to find meaning in our all-too-short lives. As you sail into the unknown, know that Lumiere stands with you. When you battle the Paintress, know that Lumiere fights with you. Let the stones of her monolith crumble. Let her body lie at the end of the world. Unable to paint another death, let the stars no longer be hidden by her oppressive silhouette. Let the world once again watch the sun rise without the shadow of her cursed figure. May the wind of renewal take you to the ends of the earth. Tomorrow comes. Thanks to you. Expedition 33.
No, I'm not gonna lie, I did cut the loading screen, but I love the stark contrast. Other than the Expedition 33 logo, this was pretty much straight scene for scene. You end with them leaving, embarking on their journey. This is Expedition 33. And it immediately cuts to this bleak, dark, ominous takeaway. Now you see this like silhouette. Oh, that is just so gorgeous. This darkness brooding, and you can see an unknown up ahead. And as they come into focus, you're like, wait, the fuck? Is that a person? Whoa. Is that an old guy? No. Now, how does that work? If the event is taking everybody year by year by year, then there should be nobody older than 33. So, and this has so many implications. Why? Who? What is being picked? How are they being picked? Why is this person here standing on this beach? They have a scar over their head. I can't help to also point out that this person looks like an old version of Pierce Brosnan. I just can't not see it. So if you didn't see it, like, how is that not Pierce Brosnan? It looks like Pierce Brosnan. Just like freaking our main character. Oh, okay. So He's a bad guy. Pierce Brosnan, Mr. Odie, just decapitated one of our expeditioners. That's great. But now, going back to my beginning, while this carnage is raging, I have to be philosophical here. Does not Gustav look like Robert Patterson? Like, look at him. He has... Like, I'm not saying they modeled him off of, in any way, Robert Patterson. But he's too close in resemblance. Like, I'm not talking about, like, his sound or manner. Like, just face-wise, the structure of his face. Every time I see him, I'm like, that's Robert Patterson.
Who the fuck was that?
Like, I'm just waiting for Bella to turn around the corner and be like, Edward.
Group at the rally point. The indigo tree.
Better for him to say he's Batman, one or the other. Though I don't know, I feel like the whole time he didn't say that. Was that like right at the end of that movie he finally was like, I'm Batman? Because I think he says he's everything but that throughout the movie, which I'm going to be honest, that kind of annoyed me. I do need to rewatch that movie, though. I watched it in theaters, and what the heck? Yeah, that is terrifying. I can't wait to fight those things. I actually forgot about those. Oh, my goodness. They're like hand creatures. That is horrible. While also in just amazingly pretty in an artistic way. What in the heck? Okay. Fade to black. Clearly that means something. Act 1, of course. Ooh, Gustav. Okay, so clearly once I get past Act 1, I guess it'll focus on another character? Not sure. But Gustav is going to be my Act 1. So either Gustav dies at the end of Act 1, or, I don't know, they change perspective. Apparently, I'm going to be honest, I don't really feel like it's saying that this is Act 1 Gustav, but like, pretty soon you get a second companion and then a third. It really stops feeling like it's Gustav's story and it's just all of theirs, so... You know, I'm, like, really intrigued what that means for Act 2. So I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, clearly we're at the beginning, but, like, where I'm currently at, I don't know either. So, anywho, that's stuff to come. I digress. I guess let's listen for a second. So here we are. Our actual beginning, kind of, after the prologue. This is now, we're in the game. Look, boy, be hella rough looking. Oh my goodness. So, beach happened. Somehow we got saved. And now all of a sudden we're just in this forest. We have no clue how we got here. The beach is nowhere in sight. Very confusing. And so we're now just getting our bearings. We're going into this wilderness, into this forest, completely shell-shocked. This is also the chance for the game to give us a couple more rundowns of how we're supposed to run. I don't think you've been able to run up until this point, but you definitely, now we can run. And here is where unfortunately I think our first actual official baddie shows up. Let's see. I'm not gonna lie, I don't actually remember how this first official fight, well, I don't know. At this point, this is like the third or fourth fight, so I don't even know if this is the official first fight. But as far as Nevron, this is the first Nevron I had ever fought. And they still, at this point, they hadn't showed us how to use the gun. And I guess I've talked to other people. I guess I could have used it in previous matches. Turns out I just never did it. I just was doing what the game told me to do. And so a lot of people was very confused by that because it took till now for the game to show you how to use the gun. But I guess the game was just expecting you to follow the rules. So if you wanted to be a little extra, the game was like, yeah, you're going to have to wait if you're wanting to be extra. Actually, it's slowly starting to come back to me, and I almost think that I was talking to my wife or somebody that had come into the room while I was playing this, because I think I was pausing extra long periods of time, and I was like, well, I'm in turn-based, it doesn't matter, because I'm like trying not to make it too jumpy, because I also the music is just so beautiful, and I feel like if I'm chopping it up, I then have to just strip the whole audio because the music is just too disjointed. I did that in the last battle. I chopped things out just to make it like anytime I waited or paused what I thought was too long, I cut those out so that it would be a little bit more fluid. And it's fine and all if I take the rest of the audio out. I'm gonna be honest, the music does not work if you like continue to like chop at it. So pissing off current me, which would be future me to that past me. But I've already missed both of the two events, and clearly I'm just button mashing. So this is two separate recordings, or I should say from the first video, part 1 to part 2. I had taken a break. I don't think it's a different day. I came back to play again. So this was a second sit down, and I think I have deleted how to parry or dodge, and I've reverted back to just button spamming, because that helps. No, it don't. I'm sorry. Please roast me in the comments if you need to. I am a Alright, so that match is over. It was a horrible match, but I won without knowing how my buttons work. We're continuing through. It looks like we got to a point where I can use my grappler again. I don't understand how that technology works, but we also are in this jaw-dropping, beautiful artwork world that is like I don't like, look at that. What is going on? I don't understand. Why is things floating and it's like fractured, like in time and space? So we're going through this forest. We've still seen nobody. How we got here from the beach is still unsure. Why? How? It looks like we have found some leftover man-made like climbing gear, and that has led us into this horrible valley of dead people. Now, I don't know. Let me pull out my calculator here. Gotta type on this. So there's been 67 expeditions. So it looked like there was like 14 people, and they said earlier that was actually a lot of people, but now that would, like, what does that mean? A lot, maybe. So let's say realistically within the last 5 or 10 years, that was a large amount of people. So if 14 was a big number, in like, let's just say 5 years. So then let's say normally it's only like 8 or so people. So let's say we got 18 or we got 14 for this year. And then let's say we got 8 for the last 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 54 people. And then that's just the last 5 years. I'm going to imagine you go back even further than that. And then, hell, there could have been 20, 30, because like you got to think it was so many people that clearly you could have like sent like 20, 30 people on a journey. And this has to be the case because there is literally hundreds of dead people here. Now, of course, the last 5 years alone, or 6 years, it's 54. But if we can just do an average of, let's say, 20 people for the other 40 expeditions or so, we can then take that 54, square that away. We can take 20 on average and then times that by 40. That's 800 people plus the 54. So there's got to have probably been about 1,000 people that's been sent on this journey. And here they're all dead and he's all by himself. I'm assuming that is another one of his crew members. I don't remember if she was mentioned by name. Though this animation alone now makes me realize that he's just magically making his gun appear. I want to know how this technology works and what the heck are those symbols? I don't know. This is very dark. Very dark. Good news is it doesn't end here. Weirdly, I don't understand how Lune just magically appears by his side. I'm assuming she saw him and just slowly wandered over, plopped down beside him, and then started talking. Really confused. But again, this game really seems to pick like an artistic cinematic style, and they're showing things in a way that I don't know if it's necessarily what's really happening or just like an artistic like way. Because the way they film this, I'm going to be honest, it almost makes me think that he's imagining it in the beginning. And God forbid, I'm going to say this now, if this is a weird fantasy from this point forward and he actually did shoot himself, what a twist that would be. But I'm calling the twist now. I really don't think that's going to be the case. But it's just a weird transition that I feel like he's about to shoot himself and then just magically Lune's like just sitting next to him and she's just like, you gonna really do that? But we got another fight about to start, and I'm just going to say this right here. Thanks so much for floating with me. If you're here, please give me a like. If you've never subscribed yet, subscribe to me, share me with a friend. But how about this? I'm just going to go into the fight, and then that's going to be our end. When the fight is over, the video will be over. But I'm going to continue with a part 3. I would hope that you join me back here again, but I'm gonna just drop what I'm saying. I hope you have a great day. No. Have a wonderful day, and I will catch you on the next one. I'm gonna wait to say anything else. I usually say later, but I want you to watch this fight. With that said, I'm gonna shut up.
Ink flow.
I know I've said this before, but I gotta say it again. Is not this music? The soundtrack is gorgeous. And really, I'm not the one that is qualified to tell you or do the research, but the way that the composer was found and picked, and like, it was such a great story. It's just amazing. Like, it was just a random happenstance from a Reddit post. Well, I guess it started off as a Reddit post and then was in this obscure like online gaming server, and then after an hour of it being posted, the guy who composed all of this beautiful music just so happened to respond. It's a great story, and I've already ruined it. Look it up for yourself. Oh, but the music just, it hits my soul. It's so good. You still here? Thanks so much for watching the whole video. I really do appreciate you. From this big Spud to you, my fellow dear Spud, I hope from the bottom of my heart that you have left here in a better mood than when you showed up. I hope not in a worse. Gosh, go somewhere else then. But please, have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you on the next one, alright? Later.